Third mistake that married women make is the mistake of familiarity. It's so easy to fall into that thing of familiarity, that mistake, because you are the one person that sees your husband at his lowest, when he's in his boxers, when he has not brushed his teeth, when he has not had a bath. So he can be a king outside. When he comes, he's just a boy. Just a boy. You've seen him. You've seen him at his weakest when he's sick and he's crying like a baby, or when you've seen him at every single point. As in, like Nigerians would say, that's what to see finish. And that's exactly what happens a lot of times, because you've been married to this man for a while. You've seen every side to him. Then you forget that you should honor him as your king and as your husband. So you speak to him anyhow. He annoys you, shout at him, things you would probably not do before you got married.
We've heard you, but let's use common sense and even scriptures to dissect everything that has been said to see whether it is actually true, factual, fair, or not. The first thing is that the notion of familiarity breeding contempt isn't something that is peculiar to women alone. It is a human trait, and it is actually way more prevalent in men than it is in women when it comes to marriage. And I'm going to prove that in a moment. So the thing is that most men describe themselves as hunters, and once majority of them have successfully captured a woman and they've laid her, that is what they're looking for, then they'll start treating her anyhow. They won't show her the same level of attention and care that got her interested in that relationship in the first place. Were we not all here on social media not long ago when one man was calling his wife used goods, right? And he was saying, well, I'm fresh, but my wife is used goods. And he was saying it on a live stream that everybody from all over the world can join into. So do you think he was calling her used goods when he was dating her? No. But familiarity breeds contempt, because now she's living in the house. He has seen her when it's time to breastfeed the baby. She will bring out the bosom and she's sucking. He has seen her, what's it called? Milk stained clothes. He has seen her bleeding, the lochia and everything. He has seen everything about her. And he has seen her wake up in the morning, her eyes all crusted over. He has seen her sad and crying and saying, this baby won't sleep. He has seen everything about her. He has seen everything she went through for the sake of having children for him, 3 children. And all he did was to call her used goods. And this is not something that is peculiar to him alone. He is saying the obvious, which a lot of men may not come out and say that, boldly. But the way a lot of men treat the women in their homes is just saying they are used goods. Was it not the other day too? Another video I stitched not long ago. A man was saying, how can I sit down and be talking with a woman? What will I be discussing with a woman? I beg, what do you mean? I'm not that type. I don't have the time. So even the way men talk about women, oh, they're just the women and the children. Now they're just there being, women and children. There's that derogatory way of addressing women. So that my point is this: the notion of familiarity breeding contempt, it is even way more in men than in women. Now, on the reverse side, when a woman gets into a marriage, for the general or average good girl, she may say, oh, I'm not going to go to the man's house to cook or wash, or I'm just going to, keep myself. The average, church girl that is, practicing celibacy and all those things, she will keep herself. Then once she gets into that relationship, even though she may be, she likes the man, but she's holding herself. Once she gets in, that is when her wife material training kicks in. She will take on all the jobs. She will cook. She will clean. She will wash. When the man says, I'm hungry, I'm not eating, she will say, please now, please eat. She will do everything. So what are we talking about? I have never seen a woman that will say, oh, because I woke up and the man was wearing boxers, that's why I don't like him. No. You will not see that. So making it as if when a woman is complaining about her husband or whatever, it is because she saw him wearing boxers or because he didn't brush his mouth. That is trivializing the realities of women's concerns. Still on the matter of, familiarity breeding contempt being something that is more prevalent in men, statistics actually shows that women become most vulnerable in marriages when they get pregnant. And that's when a lot of women experience their first encounter with outright physical violence. Because at this point, the man knows she has seen everything and have seen everything about her. Even if I do anything to her, she will not go anywhere because she has a baby in the womb. She wants to give the baby a 2-parent household. She's thinking, oh, people are going to say, why are you leaving so early and all that. So during pregnancy, the average woman is, least desirable. She might be spitting, she might be fatigued, not interested in dressing up or having sex, all those kind of things. The man is like, oh, is this not the person I married? We see the videos of women, their noses become big, they have so many pimples, so many things. And that is when, instead of, most men to stand up for their wives at that point where she's also feeling very vulnerable, majority of them, that's when they say, oh, we're just joking, this your nose, this your nose, God knows. They will even be making it as a joke when the woman is already struggling with self-esteem. Some of them will be like, when are you, this one you're eating? Know that there's a baby that has to come down from there, or whatever. Or maybe when the woman has given birth and maybe her tummy is so big and everything, they'll be like, when are you planning to start losing this weight? Oh, sir, I don't like women that are this. That's when they'll be harassing these women. And we're talking about familiarity breeding contempt. There are real issues that make women, the average good woman, to become contemptuous of her husband. And that is what we need to be asking. What are these reasons? So if we see a man being despised by his wife, it could be for a variety of reasons. For example, it could be that the man presented himself as someone that he was not, but now he's showing his true colors. So for example, maybe he's saying, I used to present as being spiritual, being rich, being hygienic, being respectful, being playful, being hardworking, being faithful. But then if he now comes into the relationship and relaxes, and the woman is like, who is this? This is not who you presented. That is one of the reasons why women become, resentful and contemptuous of their husband. Another thing is, if he's the opposite of these qualities that are good, and he's not even interested in admitting that he has some growing up to do, and instead he starts demanding submission, of course, a wife will find him disgusting and irritating. And it has nothing to do with his smelly boxers and all that. Right? So it's one thing if she says, okay, that he has these bad habits, but then he's even insisting that he doesn't have a problem. And he's insisting, you must submit to my bad habit. That is what makes women crash out. So the notion of saying that these trivialities, such as smelling mouth and dirty boxers, are the root of women's contempt or disgust in some kind of marriages, is basically insulting women's intelligence. Because even if a man wears golden boxers and he goes for an implant of mouthwash into his mouth, if he wakes up and his boxers are shining and he opens his mouth and it's as if his AC is fresh, if he has bad habit, bad character, he's not accountable, he's disrespectful, a wife will still look down on him. So let us normalize calling spades spades instead of ignoring the elephant in the room and pretending like nothing is happening, trying to treat malaria when there is HIV. So my dear ladies, even if you turn yourself into a red carpet so that that entitled man will walk all over you as a celebrity or a royalty, he will not change himself for you. So if holding them accountable and calling out their bad habit and showing your contempt and disgust at what they are doing is going to be called familiarity breeding contempt, so be it. Hold them accountable. Show your disgust and displeasure. Answer the title of nagging woman with confidence and with pride. Okay? Set up immovable boundaries until he is ready to step up his game and do what is needful. Don't allow anybody to use the Bible to gaslight you into accepting less than what you deserve as a human. If he wants to be a king, then he should work to earn that respect.